Blaze the Cat, everyone's favorite interdimensional burning cat lady. Sometimes she's a wise, stoic, Sonic-level powerhouse, and other times she's just a female rep for the sake of having one. Today, we're going to look at Blaze's role in every Sonic game she appears in, and rank her from worthless to elite. Sonic Rush is Blaze's debut. She shares the cover art with the Blue Blur himself and makes a name for herself right from the get-go. Eggman steals the Soul Emeralds from her dimension, and it causes a rift to form that throws her into the middle of Sonic's dimension. There, she meets Cream the Rabbit, who forces friendship on her almost immediately, and takes her home to meet Mom a whopping 5 minutes into knowing her. When you know, you know. Blaze starts out as a very reserved and independent character, but Cream follows her around, cheers her on, and tries to teach her the meaning of friendship or some shit. But she's very resistant and set on doing things her way. They run into Amy and Knuckles along the journey, and they keep telling her to look out for this Sonic fellow to help her, but she wants nothing to do with him. When they do finally cross paths, she up and attacks him, and ends up with the final Soul Emeralds, so that's all she wanted, but it doesn't bring her home like she'd hoped. Instead, she gets a letter from Eggman saying Cream's been kidnapped, so she goes in for the rescue mission solo, defeating the giant Egg Mech and saving the rabbit, which makes her finally admit their friendship and complete a mini arc for her. But that gets fully fleshed out in the post-game, with the Soul Emeralds being drained and having seemingly no power. Thanks to her newly opened heart though, and that of her new friends, the Emeralds are fully restored and turn her into Burning Blaze for the very first time. This transformation is f***ing rad, and with Supersonic alongside her, they take down the two Eggmen and the Egg-Salamander. And with that, her and Sonic go their separate ways, universes restored, and full powers realized. It's a hell of an introduction to the character, and the gameplay backs that up in the best possible way. Levels play like an enhanced version of Sonic. She's got the same boost, but also these new fire-centric abilities that thrust her into the air and spin flames at enemies, which are sick. Now, she is a bit slower than Sonic, but you can hardly feel it. If anything, it makes her more controllable and easy to use. Overall, I'd say this debut is Shadow level good, which may seem like an exaggeration, but it deserves that respect, and the elite tier. Sonic 06 fully retcons Blaze's character just a year after establishing it. Instead of being from the parallel Soul dimension, she's now from the destroyed future alongside Silver, most likely because of her mad popularity and the devs wanting to work her character in somewhere. But she takes a backseat in terms of plot importance for most of the story, instead serving as Silver's sidekick and moral support. When they travel to the past, it splits the two up. Silver goes hunting down the ablest Trigger, and Blaze gets sent to Wave Ocean, where she chills out and gets her one and only solo playable stage. And the thing is, her gameplay is debatably the most polished and fun in the entire game. She only gets this one level though, and it takes under 2 minutes to beat. Well, that and a small section in White Acropolis, so she's criminally underutilized. Even in the cutscenes she appears in, she's more of a background character and is hardly even acknowledged by anyone not named Silver. She does go out with a bang though. After Silver tries to steal Iblis into himself, it rejects his body because he's a noob brokey. So Blaze steps in and takes one for the team, causing air to dissipate into the air and bring sunshine to their reality for the first time in a long time. As amazing of a sacrifice as that was, it can't make up for how invisible they made a character that's supposed to be a Sonic equivalent of another dimension, so she has her moments but could have been so much more here. Sonic and the Secret Rings doesn't include many iconic characters in its story, but the party mode brings back a pretty good variety. You got the main quartet, Shadow, Cream, Silver, and Blaze the Cat. It's great to see her get a role in a spin-off game like this, but considering there is a story mode and she's absent in it, I can't give it too much credit. She's an average unlockable character. Rush Adventure builds off the first Sonic Rush game and ignores whatever the hell happened in 06. This time, it's Sonic and Tails that are pulled into her dimension, and after tracking the Robo-Pirates to Coral Cave, they find Blaze going after the same bad guys and decide to team up. Instead of having a separate storyline for both Sonic and Blaze, once the team finds her here, you can play as either character throughout the remainder of the game, and she plays about the same as she did in the original, which is awesome. The masterminds behind these pirates turn out to be, gasp, Eggman and Eggman Nega, and they're after the Jeweled Scepter to take over the dimension and finally build Eggman Land. To stop them, Sonic and Blaze take on their super forms just like last time, beat the hell out of the Egg Wizard, and save the day. Doing that much in the climax and being a consistent prime contributor throughout is definitely worthy of an elite tier. Sonic Riders Zero Gravity inducts Blaze into the best Sonic racing game series, giving her a playable character slot right alongside Billy Hatcher and the Nights in the Dreams guy. Very selective with their roster inclusions, I'll say, almost more so than Crossworlds. The game features two different story modes, Hero and Babylon, and Blaze doesn't appear in either of them. After beating the Babylon story, you unlock her and her extreme gear, the Flame Lance, which are considered relatively high tier in the competitive scene, but it unfortunately doesn't boost this much. She's a typical playable character and nothing more. The Mario and Sonic Olympics series has had 6 entries over the years, all of which include Blaze as a playable character. She doesn't miss a single one, which is more than Silver, Rouge, or even Metal Sonic can say. But these games blend in with each other more than a paper straw and insert beverage. There may be a tiny story appearance like in the DS version of the Winter Olympics, but nothing to warrant a tier higher than playable, except for the 3DS version of the 2012 London Games. There, she plays a sizable role in the story mode, helping Amy and Peach send out invites to all the Mario and Sonic characters, while also fending off the Fog clones to save some Toads, and destroying some dangerous machines. She certainly has some good moments here. In Sega Superstars Tennis, Blaze makes her smallest appearance yet. She's chilling in the background of the Green Hill Court and does absolutely nothing. Worthless. In Sonic and the Black Knight, Blaze appears under the guise of Sir Percival. It's ma'am. But yeah, she shows up for a boss fight in the Molten Mine, then gets unlocked as a playable character in battle mode. Standing up to the main character in a late-game boss fight is a pretty ballsy choice, and the playable role beyond that helps bolster this game up to Hazard Moments tier. Sonic Free Riders has a story mode that includes almost every playable character. Not Blaze though, so she's going down here. Sonic Colors on Wii didn't bring in any returning favorites, but the DS version had quite a few. Knuckles and Rouge, Big the Cat, Cream for some reason, and of course, Blaze. She appears in 2 missions for Sweet Mountain. For the first one, she spots some Eggman badniks and challenges Sonic to go wreck them, and in the second, her and Silver see some robots hanging out by the ride they wanted to go on, and make Big Brother Sonic go investigate to make sure everything's okay. Worthless? Worthless. Sonic Generations treats Blaze the same as any character not named Sonic or Tails. They're celebrating Sonic's birthday when the Time Eater shows up and sucks everyone into the void, and from there, she needs Sonic to come to her rescue. Charmy the Bee and Blaze have the same plot significance. Yeah. And after being saved, she shows up for a couple optional missions, then again for the final boss, to stand on the sidelines and cheer Sonic on. She used to be his equal, now she's just worthless. Team Sonic Racing brings her in as a playable racer and part of the story for the first time in a racing game. She gets invited to race in a Grand Prix hosted by Dodon Pa, and just about the entire Sonic crew is skeptical of this guy, including her and her pal Silver. But wait, the teams come in 3s, right? So who's their 3rd? Yeah. She's a part of Team Vector, because suddenly Sonic Team thinks fucking Vector's a bigger character than either Blaze or Silver. Gotcha. Beyond that though, they really don't do much. They investigate the situation and are involved in races throughout, but don't rock the boat much, and Blaze gets hardly any screen time. Even at the end when they're all celebrating, they cut Blaze from the scene. Vector's shown.
Vector! That's me.
She's still fully playable, but compared to the average character role in this game, it's generous to say she's on par. Her most recent appearance, until Sonic Racing Crossworlds comes out, is the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, where she's seen with Rouge for a short bit, or just calling out the obvious. Pretty frickin' worthless. And there you have it.